right, hey folks, we're going to do some game design today. Give me a few moments here to get myself set up. Make sure my my links are up and active, and we'll get some work done here today. And we're working on the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition 2024, converting all of the classes in D&D into the color mana system that we previously published on DMsGuild already. But we're updating, like I said, we're updating everything for 2024. So that means we need to go back in and reassess everything that exists and make sure that works properly. So we're going to be going through that process. I'm a little discombobulated right now, don't mind me. I've got some buttons I have to press for the social media feed. So I'm going to try to entertain you here while we're still here now, and so let's do this. My name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, I publish them online, and like I said, we're creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition that we'll be publishing on the DMsGuild. I've been DMing since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 94, a freelance illustrator since 1999, and I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2018. The first books that I published were the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rules that replaces the 8 schools of magic and spell slot system from Dungeons & Dragons, and instead gives you a mana system that uses the 5 colors from Magic the Gathering. Wizards owns both Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons. They've done very little crossover between the two. I think there's like one card set that was Forgotten Realms themed, and then they've had 3 campaign books so far from Magic the Gathering, bringing into the D&D world Ravnica, Strixhaven, and Theros. But when they translated it from Magic into D&D, they took out all the color identity and mana system and left it with Avancian spellcasting and 8 schools, and it just doesn't feel like Magic that way. So I took it upon myself to recreate the color mana system for use in Dungeons & Dragons. It is on the DMsGuild. Let me point you in that direction here real quick and sum up this commentary here so we can get to work. If you think today is cool, I'm here 9 times per week, so you can like, subscribe, hit the bell. Holy Hannah, new subscribers. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. I hope to earn your keep, so thanks for checking my stuff out. Here's a bunch of books that I've already created on the DMsGuild, including the Color Mana system. There's like 7 books in the series. All of them have 100% free preview. You can just click on the full-size preview and read all of the books. This is the Color Mana system in a nutshell. All the characters use mana or spell points as a pool. There's 5 colors in the 5-color magic system: white, blue, black, red, green. Here's some general aspects of magic that kind of define the flavor of what each of those colors mean, like divinity, healing, light, protection, restraint for whites, aggression, earth, emotion, energy, impulse for red, animals, healing, spirits, nature, plants for green. You can see some like healing is both white and green, while like spirit, soul magic, that stuff is both black. Spirits, soul, and divinity, like all 3 of those are kind of like resurrection or like reincarnation or raised dead or revivify type magic. So there's a lot of crossover, and then there's also the 10 damage types of D&D, and they're all, according to the Magic the Gathering cards, when you find them, like poison for instance is rampant among black and green creatures, but doesn't really exist anywhere at all outside of that. There's like 3 cards out of tens of thousands that reference lightning in any color other than red. Most fire is also red, so the whole thing just kind of intuitively makes sense with what MTG is and where D&D is at. The 2 cross over really, really well. So give me a hot second here. I want to check I've got some chaos going on my camera, on my phone here. Me. Good. Cool. Okay, we're all good. So I am going to, so you take the colors, you take the aspects, you blend them together, and you get the color mana spell point list. So white, blue, black, red, green. Cantrips don't require mana, but they still have an identity. So, like Druidcraft, pretty obviously is green, right? Firebolt, pretty obviously is red. Light, pretty obviously is white. So these are just some real easy, low-hanging fruit ideas. Kind of like with like Fireball, for instance, is a classic D&D spell, 3rd level. It's a Fireball is a red spell, fire, red, makes sense. 3 mana, 3rd level spell, 3 mana to cast it. 1 has to be red. The other 2 points can be whatever you want. So whenever you finish a rest, either short or long, if you have any mana in your mana pool left, you can change the colors to be whatever you want. If you have a strong identity, such as like Rakdos, for instance, is black and red mana specifically. That's the identity of Rakdos. So if you want to play a Rakdos character, say in Ravnica, then your character's going to have an identity that is devoted to black and red mana. That's how it works, which means that black and red spells you can easily access. You can get access to something like, say, Fly, which is a classic blue or a green spell. Rakdos with black and red energy normally wouldn't have access to Fly, so you could either spend downtime at your guild and learn how to make Fly a black or red spell. You could also, when you're doing daily preparation for your spell, for your list of spells, you could just choose to learn Fly as a blue-green spell, and then you could prepare it a second time so it could be whatever color you want. That's like the quick crash course of how it works. Or you could like find somebody's spell book and then learn the spell that way. Like if you find an Azorius Synod, that's not a good choice. Like say you find Azorius, like an Orzhov Syndicate wizard. It has a spell book, and in that spell book, that Orzhov Syndicate caster has the Fly spell, but is converted into, say, black magic. So now you can just learn the spell as a black spell because you found it out in the wilds in the color that you need. So your character is playing around with what colors do I want in my mana pool and what spells do I automatically get access to as a result of those selections, and what do I need to do so that I can make my mana pool as efficient as possible with as many spells as I want. And a good campaign answer to that is downtime activities spent researching the spells that you want to be the colors that you want. It helps ground your character into, I'm spending time with my guild, or like in Strixhaven, I'm spending time at my college learning the spells that I want to be the colors that I'm learning how to use. Or like in Theros, all the 15 different gods that have color identities attached to them. The more piety you gain with your god, the higher level spell they'll pipe into you to be the color that you want. So Ravnica has renown with your guild, Theros has piety with your god, and Strixhaven has college credits with your college. So those are the 3 ways currently in the 3 MTG settings that characters have built-in means as part of the narrative of their character, how they can make mechanics of their character link in and reflect the alignment that your character is taking on, like your black-red alignment of Rakdos, and how does that line up with the mechanics of the character that you've chosen. So we're going through the process of translating all of the stuff from Dungeons and Dragons into the 5e 2024 game chassis. So we're going to drop away the player's handbook, Tasha's, and I don't know why there's no artwork displaying here. I'm going to press this button again. There it is. Hi. Player's handbook, we'll drop that. Tasha's, we drop that. And we're looking at Bard currently, so let's go into 2014 Bards. We have 3 Bards left for us to fix. I'm going to grab this. Yeah. Just to wrap things up, if you want to tag along today and read along, the entire document that we're working on here is in Google Docs. It's going to be a read-only document for you. But like all the other books that I publish on DMsGuild, they're all going to be 100% free preview once they're finished. You buy my books not to get access to the current book. You get access to the current book already as a preview. If you like it, then you buy it to encourage similar additional behavior. Or you can support me on Patreon. You can also join my Discord server and hang out with me on social media. Cheers. So that's probably enough pontification and explanation. Let's dive in. So I'm going to clear that out of the way. This is colleges are down on page 137 of the playtest document that we've been composing. We already finished all of the 2024 subclass updates. So we have the full scaffold of how the Bard works using a color mana system off of what 2024 gives us. And then we have explanation of all the features, how they're modified by the color magic system in general. And then we get down to the College of Dance has been fully converted. College of Glamour has been fully converted. Last night we converted Lore as well as Valor, Creation from the 2014 book. And now we're on to the College of Eloquence. So let's grab our 2014 book here. Let's drop down to Eloquence. The first way to start is to copy paste the material that exists and then recode it and update it for use in 2024. So we're going to do the spell list because all the classes, both with the marshals and the spellcasters, get a list of bonus. Marshals have powers while casters have spells. The martial power system that this is being built into here just at the front end. Paladins, rangers, and artificers are half casters, and so it's easy to convert them into the mana system. But fighters, monks, barbarians, rangers, monks have focus points or key from 2014, which is basically a type of spell point. But the barbarian, fighter, and rogue, they don't have any mana sources unless you're an Eldritch Knight or an Arcane Trickster for the fighter and rogue subclasses. So instead, we're rebuilding the core resource system for these martial classes as well to have a half-casting progression for what we would call martial powers, which is a callback to the 3rd edition Book of Nine Swords and the martial power system, power options for characters in 4th edition. Blend those together, throw in color identity, and then we have the martial power system for 5e24. So this is a full magic system that's different from spellcasting. We have all the rules for for channeling powers at the front end of the book, and then we have all list of all the powers, which there are there's 189 of them now because we just got rid of one of them because just couldn't make it work in the playtesting, so we had to get rid of one of the powers. So we're down to 189 powers. 122 of them use mana, while the rest of them don't. Give me a second. Strikes. So there's exploits, which modify actions and die rolls. By spending mana, you do extra stuff with the stuff that you're doing. Maneuvers can be used as actions or bonus actions. They either target other creatures or yourself. Reactions sound like they're reactions that a condition happens. If you have a reaction available, spend the mana, do the thing. Strikes are like 5e14 paladin smites that when you hit something, you can spend mana to impose a condition and additional damage onto the target that you hit. And then with 24, they say that paladin can only smite with a bonus action, but I disagree with that. They're trying to. I don't think they solved the paladin problem by limiting how often a paladin can smite. I don't think that was the problem. So we leave strikes in place, but a paladin can use their bonus action to ramp the amount of damage that they do with strikes. All other classes that can strike don't do nearly as much damage as the paladin does, so it retains its title as top smiter. And then there's sustained powers, and sustained powers are like self-buff concentration effects that you can stack them. So like a 17th level martial character with access to 5 ranks of power can have like say 5 first rank auras stacked up on top of each other to max out your tap pool, or like 2 second and a first, or like a second and a third, a fourth and a first. So at 17th level you have a total of 5, and you can mess them all around like that. So that's basically the power system. It's in like all the cantrips or like damage types weapon masteries become cantrips that you could use with any weapon if you have them prepared. Assuming, like for example, Nick still needs a light weapon, but you could also use it with natural and unarmed attacks as well. So if you have, like, if you're, like, for example, if you're a Minotaur and you pick up Nick, you could use your two-handed hammer to blap people, and then you would still have Nick available that you would then be able to use your horns to as a bonus. I mean, you could make a bonus attack with it, but it would have to be light weapons. So, like, if you were using, say, a rapier, which is a light weapon, and then you could do a rapier attack, and then as Nick, as part of that attack, you could then headbutt with your horns, because natural attacks and unarmed strikes are considered light weapons for use of Nick. So there you go. And then there's feats, so you can prepare feats. You don't gain the stat bonus for it, but you also don't have any prerequisites. So, like, we're playing 6th level characters right now in our playtesting, and like we have like Polearm Master plus Grey Weapon Master plus Sentinel stacked up as 3 prepared powers that don't cost any mana, but it basically kits out what your character is going to want to do with feats, and then you can just use your mana for whatever you want. So that's the martial side of stuff. That's going really, really well. We've opened up the playtesting so you can multi-class and use any of the 13 classes throughout the mega dungeon, and we're just starting to explore and experiment with different kind of multi-class designs and stuff. It's super fun. So this whole thing's available for you. Check it out. Now to get back on, I only have so much time today, so get back on task. Let me make sure. Yeah. So, okay, Calls of Eloquence. That's where we're at. Cut. Paste. What's this called? Silver Tongue. So I'm just basically cutty pasty, dropping stuff in. There's Silver Tongue. There's Unsettling Words. Unfailing Inspiration. And Universal Speech. So let's see how this all flows. So we start with the features, and then we look at what is 5e game design for 2024 doing. Do these things align with what the other Bard features further up above are doing? Actually, to that point, I think I want to open up a second document here, and let's spool this down to page 130 something. Here, let's keep this on tap so we can reference other Bard stuff as we go along. So, you are a master of saying the right thing at the right time. I don't need flavor text, thanks. Not for now. When you make a Charisma Persuasion or Charisma Deception check, you treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. Okay, that's easy enough. When you make a Charisma Persuasion or Charisma Deception check, okay, I'm good with that. My chair's a little squeaky. Sorry about that. I need to. I'm hoping to grab some Allen wrenches tonight that can fix that. But with any luck, we'll be able. Here, let me get that chair figured out here real quick. I should be able to settle myself in and wedge my leg under my desk so that I can prevent it from making additional noise while we go through this process. There we go. This should be good now. So let's see how we do. Let's grab Unsettling Words and see how that do. You can spin words laced with magic and unsettle a creature that causes it to doubt itself. I don't care about your flavor text. Thanks. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration and choose 1 creature you can see within 60 feet of you. Roll the die. The creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. I think we have something. I think something in 5e already does something like that. Hold on. I want to say it's is it Eloquence? It's not Dance. I don't think it's Glamour. Wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC on a failed save. The target has a charm or frightened condition. Mantle of Inspiration, Majesty. Command as a bonus action without expending mana. Any charm creature? No. Lore. Cutting words. You learn to use your wit supernaturally, distract, confuse, or otherwise sap the confidence and confidence of others. Don't care. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself makes a damage roll or succeeds on an ability check or attack roll, you can use your reaction to expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration. Roll your Bardic Inspiration die and subtract the number rolled from the creature's roll, reducing damage or potential turning the success into failure. Oh no, this is only ability checks. This is makes a damage roll or succeeds on an ability check or attack roll. Okay, cool. But we can just gank this language. There. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself makes a saving throw, you can take a reaction to expend 1 use your Bardic Inspiration die, roll the Bardic Inspiration, roll the Inspiration die, and subtract the number rolled from the creature's roll, reducing potentially when a creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds the saving throw. Yeah. That's I'm good with that for now. Let's see what Unfailing Inspiration will do for us, shan't we? Doing work. Something feels weird in my throat, like something's about to pop. I have this weird neck injury from when I fell off a cliff and landed on my head as a kid. It makes my throat, it makes my neck jagged, and my esophagus has been shifting around as it's been repairing itself, and I've just discovered that it's found a little knot that it hasn't dealt with before. This is a weird experience. I'm going to keep on doing what we're doing with stream, but I may have some weirdness occurring over the course of today, so wish me luck. Your inspiring words are so persuasive that others feel driven to succeed. That's nice. When a creature adds 1 of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails. Oh, that's cool. Creature can keep his Bardic Inspiration die. When a creature adds... Wait, I think... Does Glamour do that already? Peerless Skill. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die and add the number to 20, potentially turning a failure into success. On a failure, the die is not expended. When you make an ability check or attack roll and fail, when a creature adds 1 of your Bardic Inspiration die to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and it fails, you can keep the die. Hey, what's up? Hey, Pitts. What's going on, my guy? It's good to see you, my guy. Really good to see you. Folks, click on Pittsburgh Pat's name. He runs a D&D channel, and he works with he DMs for high school kids, or is it junior high kids, but students a lot. And that's God's work, my man. It just working with kids and getting them in place. Like I started playing D&D when I was 12. And I gotta say, D&D was such a powerful creative outlet for myself. It completely has changed my life. I've been DMing now for 38 years. And it's completely molded my ethics, how I judge people, how I observe what people do. Like so many people give away what kind of character they have by the kind of characters they portray in role-playing games. Like D&D is like such a great place for kids to really just have the ability to experiment, do stupid stuff, face the consequences of social praise or scorn without having their life ruined. It's such a great experience. I'm always thrilled, Pat, when I hear you talking about your experience playing with running games for kids or teaching kids how to play. And I'm proud that you're around. Thanks a lot for being here. All right, so we're working on the Bard. Let me try to get back to it here. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the Bard die. That's the that was Eloquence that we're working on right now. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to ability check, ability attack roll, or saving throw, and fails, keeps the die. This one is when you make an ability check or an attack roll and fail. You can expend one use of Bardic Inspiration, roll the Bardic Inspiration die, and add the number rolled to the d20, potentially turning a failure into a success. So let's look at the general ground rules of how Bardic Inspiration works. You can give one die of inspiration to a creature within 60 feet of yourself who can see or hear you. A creature can have only one Bardic Inspiration die at a time. When the creature fails an ability check, you can't give yourself inspiration, can you? Unless it specifically says that you can. Hold on. D&D 5e 2024. Can Bard give yourself inspiration? Inspire others. Okay. So this feature for Eloquence, being able to give yourself the die. No. Lore? I'm lost. Where was it? Nargles. Glamour. Was it Glamour? No. Oh, hold on. I want to fix this. You can cast Sanctuary as a persistent spell at will, targeting only yourself without expending mana. Right. There you go. That is built correctly. Magical Discoveries, Valor. I lost it. Where was it? Why am I having difficulties? It's not in Dance. How did I lose? I was just looking at it. Where the fuck did it go? Hold on. How am I losing? This is really frustrating me. Give me a second here, guys. Hold on. I'll find it. Okay. Valor is no. Oh, there it is. Okay, Peerless Skill. Thank you. And that is Lore. Thank you. So the Lore Bard, you can hit yourself with Inspiration at 14. And if you fail, you don't spend it. That's awesome. But this feature at a lower level is when you give a die to somebody else, they don't spend if it's wasted. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, ability attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the Bardic Inspiration die. Let's double check the wording on that real quick here. Hold on. Being very picky about. You can give one die of inspiration to a creature within 60 feet of yourself who can see or hear you. A creature can have only one Bardic Inspiration die at a time. When the creature fails a D20 test, it can roll the die of inspiration, add the number. Okay, so that's it. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to its ability check, and the roll, and the result, and the roll still fails, that implies, because you would have added it when the die failed. Was that a reaction? No, it's a bonus that you give them, and then they just burn it. But I can, on the fly, use a reaction to give you inspiration or to inspire you. Even if you have a die of inspiration, I can inspire you as a reaction ad hoc on the fly. And the way that the mana system works is that starting at 5th level, I can expend 2 points of mana to generate a Bardic Inspiration for free. So with 20 mana, at 20th level with 80 mana in my mana pool, I could literally just burn my entire pool and hand out an additional 40 points of inspiration over the course of my character. If I don't want to spend any spells, there's people out there who don't think the Bard should be a spellcaster. I'm fine with that. If you don't want to have a spellcasting Bard, that's fine. You can ignore your bonus spells. You can ignore the budget you get for spells, and you can just burn your entire mana pool to generate just ridiculous amounts of inspiration for your team. You can always be just handing off inspiration to your team. They can burn their inspiration, and if they don't hit the mark, fuck it. You can then use your reaction to burn another 2 points of mana to give them more inspiration, so that your team can just be D20 test gods. And if that's how you want to use your mana pool, the mana is a resource that we've been using to have more and more things that you can do. Spoiler alert, once the Martial Powers book comes out and all 13 character classes all use the same mana system, we can then build mana species where your character's species and background features can also be fueled by mana. To do like for example, Dragonborn can breathe fire. So if you want to say pop an extra, if you spend a point of mana, you can breathe fire more often than you would have. An extra point, maybe it's 2 points of mana. We'll figure that out. We haven't built the book yet, but that's the next step. After all the classes use the same mana pool, so every class, no matter what, is using mana, then we can start looking at the characters are just born of mana as a natural resource in themselves that they then channel through the classes that they play as characters. But that means that we can have mana feats, we can have mana backgrounds, and we can have mana species features. And we can tack on additional ones because all of the classes that we have in this game, all of them have 23 prepared abilities, whether it's powers or spells. And if you're multi-class, it kind of flops between the two of them. But once we have all the classes working on the same prepared list, we can then start adding in mana features for classes, for races. So my Minotaur could potentially have 23 different Minotaur effects that you're going to burn your mana pool on using as a Minotaur, regardless of what your class is. So that'll be phase 3. So we're going to rebuild the 2014 books to work with the 2024 rules. We'll finish the Martial Powers book so that all 13 classes are using mana, and then we'll start building out mana species. There you go. So that's the master plan. Both again, D&D and MTG are both Wizards of the Coast things. So I have 2 options following these ideas. I could either use the DMsGuild and publish these things using official D&D content and the Magic the Gathering stuff that they've released for D&D. I could do fan content and publish stuff on my Patreon without a paywall, because I don't own the rights to the IP on my Patreon. I can just make things for free to hand out to people and ask, if you think these things are cool, consider throwing me a buck each month. The third option is to ignore Magic the Gathering and D&D and use the 5e game engine to build the mana system using something that is not color magic, because color magic is an IP of Wizards of the Coast. My choice is, being the fanboy geek that I am, to stay in the MTG. What that allows me to do is to publish these books on the DMsGuild, and then in support of that, I can start publishing a whole bunch of freebie kickers on my Patreon as just like bonus content, right? Like, no one is going to spend money to purchase a subclass for like a Boros Swiftblade, right? But I could make a Boros Swiftblade subclass, post it for free on my Patreon, that then leads you back to these books. It's like, hey, if you want to use this stuff, the books to use it is on DMsGuild. Go look at the free previews and play it. Here's a subclass that I built. It's on my Patreon, free for you to look. Here you go. And then I can start using that as a marketing arm for me to produce these things. But these books need to be in place and published on DMsGuild before I really start diving into all that Patreon stuff. So I want to have all 13 classes built for mana. So like if I want to build like a Sedge Witch, for example, I could build a Strix class Sedge Witch that'll work with any character class, but it has like its mana features built off of whatever the Magic the Gathering card was. So that's the conspiracy, that my open-handed conspiracy to you all. That's where I'm trying to take MTG plus D&D. So I think I've probably rambled enough about that. Let's get back to work. Sorry, I geek out on this stuff. The speech is with 2 E's, Kearney. This is good. Bardic Inspiration. We've solved that problem. Universal Speech. Let's check this out. I'm going to copy here, drop in here, drop in here. As a magic action, choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. The chosen creature can magically understand you, regardless of the language you speak, for 1 hour. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again. That is just the most worthless feature. What a bullshit 14th level feature. You get the Tongues spell. Oh boy, I got Tongues what, at 5th level? Tongues is like a 5th level spell, right? What just, oh, that infuriates me. Let's do better. Let's do better. First off, let's check our head. Tongues. Don't like that. Oh my god, if Tongues is a 3rd level spell, get out. It's like when we where was it? Hold on real quick. I got something snarky to say about that. Hold on. Let's get to it. Not dance, not lore. Was it eloquent? No. Glamour. That's it. Glamour. So the Unbreakable Majesty feature for the Glamour Bard at 14th level, it's Sanctuary. You can cast a Sanctuary spell once per day, and you can gain it again as a long rest. That is not a 14th level capstone feature. So we just took Sanctuary and we made it basically permanent. Spend 1 spell point, and it lasts all day. Persistent means a persistent spell here. For those that aren't indoctrinated, allow me to indoctrinate you real quick. Again, this is the color mana system. It's linked here on DMsGuild. Click that, it'll pop open. Here's all the books in the series. And let's go down to the core mechanics. Again, all these books are 100% free preview. Thanks to everybody that's bought the book. I'm really, and I think it was in March we gained gold medal status, which I'm very proud of. It'll be a while before we hit platinum, but we'll get there. Hopefully with these the 2024 rebuild, we'll get to platinum. But let's scroll down here. All 75 pages in the book are available for you to view. Let's look at our simplified durations. So the way that I built this to kind of jive with the way that Magic the Gathering, the card game, works, we now have 3 types of durations on spells. Instantaneous, which just, click, boom, there it goes. Teleport, fireball, cure wounds. You do the thing, the magic's over, you're done. Persistent spells last all day. So any spell in the player's handbook with a magic effect lasting longer than 24 hours retains this longer duration, but these spells have sustained magical effects that are active until finishing a long rest. And then concentration, it's concentration, but it's however long you can hold concentration for is the duration. There is no set cut point where it just drops off. But then we have, for persistent spells, we have Burn for Days, which is if the caster chooses, persistent spells that would end after completing a long rest can remain in effect without having to cast the spells again. When you complete a long rest, you may burn mana. Burn is what the term that we were using for expending mana, but we're going to update that language because we're updating 2024. So when you expend, you may expend mana equal to the total levels of persistent spells sustained. Spells that last longer than 24 hours don't require Burn for Days. Some persistent spells have additional considerations when you use Burn for Days. They got rid of, So anyway, like for example, water breathing. If you're doing a bottom of the ocean adventure and you take a long rest, that spell is going to end while you're asleep and you could potentially drown. It could cause trouble. So instead, by making, say, water breathing a persistent spell effect, is when you finish your long rest and you regain all your mana, you can just choose to leave the 3 points that was needed to cast water breathing. You just leave them spent and water breathing stays active. This also works with Animate Dead. I create zombies. I have to retain control of those zombies. Normally, you would have to cast the spell again to retain control of them. But with this persistent ability, once you cast the spells, as long as you leave that mana spent, those zombies will not break control from you. So that's a good way for you to build out your necromancer horde of monsters, right? So, but once you run out of mana, you can't control anymore, and they'll break free, right? Or maybe you don't want to spend your entire mana pool on making sure your zombies stay put. Options. So, but that's the idea there. So I just wanted to share that real quick. So tongues, what a BS ability. Like we're just gonna add tongues here. It's just gonna be a spell that's added to your list anyway. So universal speech as a magic action. Let's you know what? Let's steal that language because that's good language to steal. Yeah, we don't even have to spend mana to cast Sanctuary. It's just a magic action, and then Sanctuary is active again for however long it lasts. It can be dispelled, but it's basically permanent, which is a freaking powerful ability. That's a really, really good ability. You have to basically make a Wisdom saving throw to attack your character at that point. That's really good. We're going to do this instead. We're going to go to Universal Speech, which is you can cast Tongues as a persistent spell at will, targeting only yourself without expending mana. Not nearly as useful as Sanctuary, but we're not spending any mana on it. So there you go. You can cast Tongues as a persistent spell at will, targeting only yourself without expending mana. That's effectively taking a spell off of your list, but you don't get it until 14. From 5 to 14, that's 9 levels. That's not bad. You can use Tongues. Yeah, let's do that. Wait a second. Does it already have a persistent duration? Let's go to our list. 3rd level, Tongues. Tongue to tongue, tongue, tongue. Concentration, huh? Yes. So it's a concentration spell, but we're going to switch it to persistent so you don't have to maintain concentration on it anymore. I like that. That's a better solution. You can cast Tongues as a persistent spell, period. There you go. Very simple. We already explained what persistent means. And there you go. You can cast Tongues. You can expend 1 Bardic Inspiration die to cast Tongues as a persistent spell. Bardic Inspiration only costs 2 points of mana if you were to compare it, but you also get it for free. So this just lets you turn on and keep Tongues on. You could spend 3 mana if you wanted to because it's on your spell list. But by the time you get to 14, it drops cost down to 2 points or Bardic Inspiration die, and it's persistent, so it stays forever on. Assuming that you know, there you go. Is there a kicker effect that we want on that? Because that's not actually much of a good feature unto itself. Let's see. I have an idea. I like this one. In addition, when you cast a bard spell with a verbal material component, that forces a creature to make a saving throw that it rolls with disadvantage. I think that's a goddamn good ability. The tongue spell is a BS feature. So now let's go in and find some bard spells. So obviously you can have magical secrets, so you can rebuild spells. Like you get Power Word Kill, which is going to require a saving throw. So this character in particular, the Eloquence Bar, would have you roll Power Word Kill at disadvantage, which makes a lot of sense to me. So hey, let's go. We've fleshed out the class. Let's go spell fishing. So this is the 2024 list converted into the color mana system. Here's our simplified durations of concentration: instantaneous or persistent. White, blue, black, red, green is the WUBRG. A 5th level spell requires 5 mana, and only 1 point needs. Let's use a different one, like Commune with Nature is a blue and green spell. It requires 5 mana, and 1 point needs to be either blue or green, your choice. The other 4 can be anything that you want. If you're using a more liquid, simple magic system, then you just have to have 5 points of mana, and you would just describe the spell as being blue or green, unless you learned Commune with Nature as something other than blue and green. Like say Witherbloom, you could have potentially learned Commune with Nature as a black spell if you wanted to. So if you're just using a simple liquid magic system, you've got the 5 points of mana, you spend them, you just say it's, in this instance, say black. And so you describe the spell that you're casting dripping with black magic, for instance. And then you create your own color, like your own color displays, like Boros, for example, which is white and red magic. Everything that you do could be like radiance emanating from yourself. Things can be wreathed in fire. There can be like a white fire. There can be a feeling of heat coming from you, and like a reddish hue. Your eyes might flash with red. There's a number of different ways that you can depict the visuals of color, but color is such a literally visual language that it adds added levels of depth to your character, how they interact with the world, and the DM can give subtle pieces of information to the players based on the colors that they see. Like that trap, that magical chest has a white radiance coming off of its lock. It's probably protected by some sort of a spell. Well, great. I'm going to use Detect Magic and the investigation and the and the investigation action to see what I can decipher about that lock. It's like, great, you turn on Detect Magic, give me your check. The die roll came through good. Okay, yes, the white radiance that was obvious to anyone can see is so bright that it's trying to hide strands of black magic. That's the actual trap on the chest. You found the strands and they lead deeper into the fabric of the chest. Do you want to explore that? Yes, I do. Okay, great. Let's explore in further. Maybe you would have a second investigation, or your rogue is now actively looking to pick it. And now you're starting to pluck at the strings. Like, what's going on with this black string? Well, you can, with a good die roll, you can then decipher that if you fail your saving throw with this trap, it'll put your character to sleep and they will not wake up until the person who set the trap comes by and awakens you. So be careful with that. For instance, like one instance of like a billion examples. You can have like tripwires, like little thin strings of magic that go across a hallway. And when your character passes through like a laser, it breaks the line, like it breaks the laser. So the little color ribbon breaks and whatever magic was wound up and threaded inside of that magical strand, it snaps and pops. So that triggers the magical effect. So you can put little magical wards, like little sigils, what is it? Sigil of warding, glyph of warding. Those would be the color of whatever warding effect you put into them, because you can just put spells into glyphs of warding. So I lay down the glyph of warding, white or blue magic, and then like say I put contagion inside of it for some reason. So you look at the symbol, and then when you start deciphering the symbol, you can see the black magic threaded inside of it. That'll trigger if you pop the glyph. So it's just this added color language that provides you more information to dig deeper. If you fail your die rolls, like you don't know what the spell is specifically, but you know it's black in nature, and that automatically tells you stuff about that spell. It's like it's probably like death related, fear related, control related. It could be mind control stuff. There's a lot of dangerous stuff that could trigger as a result of having black magic hit you. Do I want to mess with that? It's probably dangerous magic. So let's hold off on that until we have more time to try to peel the magic apart. There you go. So we're picking spells, and we're talking about eloquence. So right off the bat, I think it's pretty obvious that we're going to go with Yolanda's Regal Presence, right? Durr. That really should be capitalized, Kearney. We'll have to redo the whole list. But we're going to once we have all the classes finished, we're going to spend time and go through the entire list and make sure that we're happy with the color selections and that the durations that we have for each of them is proper. And yeah. So Yolanda's Regal Presence. What's another eloquence sort of thing to have? Might not be obvious. Eloquence, mislead perhaps. Eloquence. Maybe Gesh. Maybe dream. Eloquence. We're thinking eloquence. Not a lot of stuff jumping out at us about eloquence in general. Shice. How are we doing on time over here? Okay, we still got 20 minutes. We'll at least get through this one. I'm going to be back. I'm actually going to be playing Super Atomic with AJ Pickett, Wally DM, and Fred Wheeler over at How to RPG. I'm going to be playing, AJ Pickett's Super Atomic. Fred Wheeler is going to be DMing. That's on Thursday at 5 o'clock Seattle time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And that's typically a 3-hour session. So 2-hour session. Yeah, it's typically a 2-hour session. So at the end of that, I'm going to jump on. We're going to continue working on this stuff. So let me see if I can get this spell list completed. Actually, you know what? Gesh is probably a good one. Let's go with Gesh. And then fourth, if anyone wants to contest any of these decisions, you are welcome to join my Discord for free. Drop down to the color mana system and raise Cain. Let's see. We're looking at eloquence. 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 Looking for eloquent type of stuff. Confusion. I like that. I don't like that I had to go so far to find... Ooh, confusion and compulsion. Nope, Charm Monster. That's kind of an obvious one, yeah? Let's go with Charm Monster for sure. That's just That's just obvious. Let's look at compulsion and confusion to decide between the two of them. My gut's telling me compulsion. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range must succeed a wisdom saving throw or have the charm condition. Look, it's a verbal component, so at 14th level, they'll have that at disadvantage. For the duration, you can take a bonus action in direction that is horizontal to you. Each charm target must use as much of its movement as possible to move in that direction. That's awesome. Compulsion approved. Hell yeah. Let's look at Charm Monster real quick, since we're here, right? Does this have a verbal component? Signs point to yes. Oh, hell yeah. Gesh and Yolanda. Let's check those out real quick. I'm feeling really good about that 14th level feat at this point. No, no, no. It's Gesh. Thank you. Gesh. Verbal, only a verbal component. Holy Hannah. And then Yolanda's. We'll look at Yolanda, and I suspect she's going to have Yolanda. This is probably verbal as well. Yep. Hot daggity dig. That's fantastic. Okay, great. I'm loving this. And then Compulsion. Yeah, that's a good one. Compulsion. So far, this is huge home runs, man. Tongues. Third level. Tongues is locked in. Eloquence. Speak jumped out at me as communication, but eloquence specifically, maybe not. Tongues for sure. That just makes sense. And we have it built into the class. Ooh, mass healing word. That might not be bad. Healing word. Is there something better? Nope. You know what? Honestly, yeah, I like healing word. Let's go with that. It's a freebie. Hold on. Was that greater healing word? Mass healing word. Love it. And then 2 second and 2 first. What you got? What you got? Zone of truth. That's a pretty good one. Can't speak lies while within it. I like it. And maybe magic mouth. Maybe that's a little obvious. Let's see if there's something better. It might just be a good... Ooh, enthrall. Enthrall. Ooh, and suggestion. Suggestion and enthrall, of course. God, what a freaking great list. And then 2 first level spells. Just a batch of nasty. Just sick. Tasha's laughter. Maybe that's not eloquent. Speak with animals. Is speaking with animals eloquent? Such elegance. Maybe. Hex. Hex might not be bad. Oh, I'm just Charm Person, of course. Charm Persian. Charm Persian. And what did I find? Hold on, I had something. Oh yeah, Tasha. Oh yeah, that's the first level spell. Tasha. There we go. Hey, we're done. Nice. Eloquence is resolved. So let's see if we can speed round our way through College of Swords. We might be seeing some repeat features slipping in here pretty quick. So let's check out College of Swords. Technically, it's different. I don't see a lot of difference between Swords and Valor, but it is what it is. Oh boy, yeah, there's some duplication here, huh? Choose one of the following options: dueling and two-weapon fighting, blade flourish. Oh, this is exciting. I like this. I don't think I have the time to work through this. Something in my head is telling me that I need to bounce. So I am on lunch and I'm about to push over my time. So I'm going to have to cut stream here. But Thursday night for sure we'll be able to finish this up. And I have Friday off. I took vacation on Friday in celebration of me. It's me May. So Phil takes a week off in May every year, and my week off starts on Fridays. So I'm going to have a 3-hour session, probably going from 2:30 till 5:30 or so. So we're playing Super Atomic on Thursday night, and then after that, we're going to come in. We're going to resolve this and probably Whispers as well. And then Friday lunch is going to be an extended long lunch for us to work for 3 hours. We're going to make sure that Bard is resolved. We're going to work through, make sure that Warlock is resolved, and then all the other subclasses and the martial classes. And that should probably finish us, probably by the time I finish on Friday, all the classes and subclasses for 2024 should be updated with all the 2014 stuff. It should all be there. It's a solid block. So that's where we're at for now. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut here. If you want more, like I said, I'm here 9 times. Monday through Friday in the morning, I do artwork for whatever book is going to get published next. And right now we're doing an adventure for Eberron, fighting necromancers and demons and stuff. So that's cool. And then Monday, Thursday nights, and then Tuesday, Friday lunches, we have those 4 sessions. Monday and Thursday nights tend to be like 2 or 3 hours. And then our lunch on Tuesdays and Fridays are 1 hour apiece. So I'll be back tomorrow morning to do more artwork. I'll be back Thursday morning to do more art. Thursday night, Super Atomic with AJ Pickett and Fred and Wally DM. And then Friday morning, we'll do art. And then after Super Atomic, we'll do more of this called Swords. And then Friday morning, we'll do more artwork. And then Friday lunch, late lunch, we'll do like probably a 3-hour session and finish off this entire series. Exciting. All right, that's it for now, guys. I'm out of here. I will see you on the other side. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Check out the book. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks a lot, guys.